Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Call Me When You Get Off with Shannon and Gigi. In today's episode, we are discussing, what are we discussing? Oh, getting out of our own way and maintaining success. And we're going to go through our own struggles and tribulations, how we got through it, things that we utilize, whether it's tools, people, environments, even changing our mindset, and how you too can be better and be successful. So as we're diving into it, I'm gonna let Shan. Where you can find this. Should I share that now? Share that.
I feel like if you're listening up until this point, you know where.
I feel like because we're at the end. This is the last episode, you guys.
Last episode, you know where
for this season, and we do appreciate you, appreciating us, letting you know our thoughts when we do have the time.
Yeah,
and being our friends, because you want 3-way, 4-way.
Yes.
5-way if you like it like that, you know.
Yes. Okay. So when I think about getting in your own way and trying to find your success through that, I don't feel like wanting success is like a destination. It's getting to a point where you discover how you get it and you just keep on getting better at keeping it. Right? Because nobody wants to win in life and then just have that one time back in the day when I won. No, you want to consistently keep winning. You want to consistently keep getting better, or your life better because of that one thing that you did, and you figured out how to double it. You figured out how to triple it. You figured out how to keep it good for multiple years, not just that moment. And that's how I think about success. And I think you don't get success just because you put your name in this like hat and somebody pulls it out. Now you're successful. No, it's like consistent work that you do on yourself, that you do that's tangible in life. Work nobody's going to always see that you're doing. Work that people are not going to congratulate you on being consistent on. It's like you have to know when to measure yourself on betterment. Like nobody cares that you work all late night shifts all week in order to get to where you got. All they see is how you got to where you at. All they see is that you have this thing now. I want that thing. But a lot of people don't want to be homeless for 2 years to get where you are. A lot of people don't want to lose everything that they had that they thought they were going to have forever to get where you are. And those are like the things. I'm not saying you have to lose or your life has to be horrible before you can have success, but there's a ugliness of the good that's going to come to you later if you stay consistent and focus on it. And all of the things that you have to do in between are kind of like what we're going to talk about. Because I think it always starts with self. It's not always based upon your family being rich or you being rich or you winning the lottery. It's really about like, what are you going to do when you're in a position of great opportunity? What are you going to do when the odds are against you, but you have these tools, but your doubt or the way that you think about yourself is why you haven't done what you need to in order to be successful at it. And the first thing I believe would be self-sabotage. But before we get into that, what's been going on?
With me?
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We have to catch up before we get into the...
Oh, well, by the time you listen to this,
it's mid-July. It's still hot as shit.
I want to say I'm probably booking a vacation because, as you know, in the last episode, I kind of explained to you guys that now, like, I'm a bartender and I've been like on my dry June, and so my once I reach my goal of my 30 days, then I'm able to book myself a trip. So as we are right now in this space, I'm looking at where I want to travel to. I know I want to be on somebody's beach, maybe with somebody's son, but if not, I'll probably meet somebody's son over there. I'm not really worried about that. But that is going to be one of my gifts to myself for achieving, getting through all of this. And it's probably so. I'm hoping that in the next season, I'll be able to let you guys know where I went, who
Hmm.
I did. I mean, what I did, and what my next trip will be.
Okay, she's going on a trip on her favorite road.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, I would like to go to a beach before this month is out, but who knows? It
What
depends.
beaches do you go to where you're at?
I go to beaches where I can see through the water. Okay,
Mm.
that means I have to drive all the way to the coast of somewhere south. Um, somewhere I don't like a busy beach. I like a clean beach, a beach that has security cameras, a beach that doesn't have too much ratchet things going on. And I like to go enjoy myself and rinse off, have something good to eat, and make my way back home. Making my way mountain. Okay, very different when it comes to beaches. But yeah, that's how I like to do that. I don't swim in lakes. I don't do man-made beaches.
Oh, I definitely swam in the lake. It was nasty, but I had a great time. I was young. It was. I saw a diaper in there and everything, and I was like, I'm bored. This is not. We're not supposed to be here today.
Oh my god. Give me a tetanus shot now. Okay.
Right.
But yeah, the girls are going back to school in a few weeks.
Right. I feel like they just got out.
You know what I'm saying? So that's going to be a thing. Anya's starting middle school. Ari's gonna be taking the bus by herself.
Do they wear uniforms or do they wear
Anya is going to a art school where she has to wear uniform, and Ari wears uniform to her school because most of the counties here wear uniform. So, what I've been buying uniforms since June, so I'm not really pressed on that. And Ari's dad
we
usually
know your preparedness is probably on one of your lists.
okay, and
Yeah.
Ari's dad usually buys her school supplies. I got most of Anya's school supplies in June, so I am prepared. I just need to know her schedule and how I'm going to do pickups because Ari's gonna have a bus that drops her off. Anya is gonna be a car drop off, maybe a bus drop off at another location, and then she'll be able to walk across the street to my brother's shop, and one of my nephews might drop her off. So that might be the thing because by the time I get off of work, she's already out of school. I don't think I'll be able to stop work to go pick her up. So
Mm.
that
It's gonna
might,
be a new experience.
yeah. So it's gonna be different. So we're gonna see how we can work this thing. But I'm excited. You know, it's been a interesting summer. but yeah, it's everything's all good. Yep. All right. So let's hop into this thing. Okay. What do you know of self sabotage? And have you experienced it yourself where you find yourself self sabotaging?
So when I think about self sabotage, it's literally in the word itself. It's basically you and no one else outside of you preventing you from doing great things.
Right.
And it can play and have different masks, whether it's self doubt, procrastination, fear.
Mhm.
All these like play into self sabotage. It's basically you're your own worst enemy, and you don't want yourself to win, even though you want to. And yes, I've had scenarios with an S, and even a scenario that I can even share with you guys where I was supposed to be a solo pod a while ago.
Yeah.
Uh, but I've been in my own way. I've really been in my own way. And it's not even saying that I didn't do the work. I just had those masks where it was whether it was self doubt, being a perfectionist, uh, fear. What else? Those were like the major factors,
Yeah.
and even discipline. Because I feel like when it came down to me doing it, I have a choice. But when I do have like a supporting person that I'm working with, then you're holding yourself more accountable.
Yeah.
I've been in my own way in that aspect. So self-sabotage definitely is self-explanatory. But if you didn't know, that's my take. What about you, Chan?
Self-sabotaging is being the kid and the adult in your mind.
Mm.
The kid in your mind is telling you, I just don't want to. The adult in your mind is just like, okay, we have this thing, we need to do it. So what time? And you just say, well, give me a minute. I got to do this. And then that minute is over, and you're just like, okay, are you ready now? Well, my stomach hurts. Let me just take this nap first. And it's just like all these little excuses in your mind because you really don't think the outcome of what needs to get done is going to be great, or you don't think that you're going to be successful at it, or you don't want to hear um, the criticism that comes with how
Ah, that's a good one.
you
Yeah.
do the thing, right? And sometimes you could be your worst critic, to the point where you spend so much time seeing other people do a thing that you might want to do, and you criticize all the little things that they didn't do right or they could have done better,
But
but
you know,
but you haven't done anything. We haven't seen the works, the details of your labor. So what is your version of this is going to look like? And you've judged other people so much in this area that now you're scared to be the one on the
right.
block. And waiting to the last minute is self-sabotaging, aka procrastination.
Some people say they work better under pressure.
And some people do. Like I've had people who in high school or college they cram study. Okay. But I know sometimes when you cram study, personally, you'll be so overconfident that you'll read something thinking it said what you thought, but it said something else. And that the little details is what you miss, and then you get that wrong.
I'm with
And
that.
when you studied, you should have known it. If you would have just slowed down and stopped feeling ultra confident and take your time, you would have read it correctly. Hence, sidebar, I have a bad habit of that. Like when I'm angry or when I'm rushing or when I'm super in my feels, I'll text something and then read the text that I'm getting back from someone because I'm so upset. I read it wrong. And then they'll be like, well, I told you this. I'll be like, no, you didn't. And I go back like,
Oh, you did say that because you skipped over the line. I
yeah.
wanted to bring up before like we continued how you say like your inner child is like saying no, but your adult is saying yes. I kind of think it's the other way around. And if it's not, I don't think it's the inner child. I think it could be like the preteens,
Mhm.
maybe teenager in you, but not the child. Because I feel like as kids, we were like unstoppable. I feel like we did not have any fears unless like, grew up in kind of a sheltered environment. But I feel like it was so easy to genuinely just be you as a child because you didn't think about the perception and how people cared about you. It's not until like you started getting older and you started, having friends and you started being in like school where people have these opinions and there's bullies. And that's where like that self doubt may even play into. But as a kid, you thought you could fly. And no one could have told you different. You was making tents, talking in a house. Like,
I thought that at home, but when it came to being outside my home around people, I didn't want you to see me.
oh, I would. Well, I didn't want to say I didn't want people to see me, but I was seen, and I
Yeah,
felt
I mean, I was always seen because Jennifer did a great job of making sure something I had on. Oh shit! I like. Like
that.
my mom, like the way that she dressed me because I was like the only girl in the last one. It was just like now I get to pour all my girliness into her. When I'm not like that, I don't like attention. I don't like being around people I don't know. I don't like people touching me if I don't want you to touch me. I do not like a lot of attention. Even to this day, a lot of times I might do a video of what I'm wearing. You'll never see me turn all the way around.
No, you don't. I'll be
I
waiting.
don't like people being able to see all of me if I don't know you and I want you to see all of me.
Mm,
I get to choose and pick what you get to see of me.
mm.
I'm still like that to this day. And I don't know. I just feel like everybody has their level of things, but I do feel myself when I'm getting really defiant, where like even like at work, they'll tell me they want me to do something. In my mind, I haven't made it. I'm gonna start doing it. School, same thing. I remember working in my 20s. You put me in the fitting room. Yes, I'll do my job in the fitting room. Yes, I'll put up the clothes. But if I get bored, I'm going to print out a long reel of receipt paper and I'm going to do sketches of shoes and clothes. Because
I'm screaming.
you're not going to have me back here doing nothing. And I always get in trouble for sketching or drawing or putting something on like the board in chalk when they was like, Shan, can you please stop drawing on the thing? It's for us to know how many items somebody has in the. I said, well, I don't have nothing to do in here. I already put on all the clothes. I already organized the hangers. Everything is clean in here. You expect me to just stand here? But I always have to do something while I'm doing something. It's just in me. And if that's something you don't like about me, then we're not going to work. But I'm never just doing one thing. But yeah, I'll say I get really defiant. I can get into a mode where I just don't want to do it. I was never like a problem child in school, but I had days where I would tell my mom, I don't want to go. And she'd be like, well, what's wrong? Nothing. I just don't want to be around people today. And she'd be like, okay, you can stay home. And I think ordinarily every other parent would be like, you taking your ass to school. My mom wasn't really pushy about that. And that helped make my defiant side okay because she okayed it. And even in high school, if I didn't feel well or I was on my cycle, I'm like, I don't feel good. I don't feel like going today. I never had to skip school. I could just tell my mom, I'm not going today. And she'd be like, okay, stay home. Don't open the door. I was like, okay. But, like for me, I tell the girls, like, in middle school, high school, you're allowed one no school day per your cycle, if that's what you're, or you just don't feel well, or you just not with it. I'll allow it. I don't think that's going to do anything wrong. I think kids are people, and they
It
have,
must be attendance.
yeah, for kids about attendance. You don't get a high credit score after high school because you had great attendance. Nobody's picking you to go to the best college because you had great attendance. That's
screaming. I got a certificate.
Some bullshit. Okay. And this another thing, sidebar, I hate workers who work somewhere for 30 years and never took a day off. The company doesn't give a fuck. They don't care. I took an off day this week coming up because I want to be off today. And the next day is going to be a major holiday. I'm going to be off and paid on that day too. I don't care. Y'all will do well without me. It is okay. I'll see you next week. And I just want people to start recognizing when it's okay to do something for you. It's okay to take time for you. And if you're running away from something, yes, that may look like self-sabotage, but if you need it, it's going to make you feel a lot more relaxed for the rest of the time you have to be somewhere, I say take it.
I agree. Sometimes you have to remove yourself from certain environments in order for you to reset. So then if you have to go back into it, you don't feel overwhelmed. You actually had a moment to breathe. So I totally agree with that. That's mental health. And tap into your guilty pleasures. Listen to our last episode. You might need some of those to encourage your self-sabotage to dissipate.
Yes. And don't do negative talk. Negative talk is self-sabotage.
Absolutely.
Don't give into it. Okay. This is a major part of self-sabotage. Ways you may procrastinate. What does that look like for you, Gigi?
Okay, so I have a few. I don't know if you want to like go tit for tat, but like my first one is like which I started realizing as I got older was helping other people. So instead of doing something for me,
Mm.
I distract myself by helping other people. And then I use that as an excuse. Well, I was over there like helping this person be great. I'm like, that's why I can't be great. When I
Mm.
was just like, the same energy I'm putting out there, I could put in myself. But that level of procrastination in regards to finding a reason not to look
Mhm.
into my issues, not a reason to fix something or to do something because I'd rather do it for someone else. That's one of mine for sure.
Mm. Okay.
And oh, are we gonna do tit for tat or you just want to go list?
I'll do a tit for tat. I
Okay, go ahead.
I sleep off
Mm,
times where I need to be making decisions.
mm,
If I'm frustrated and I know it involves me having to make a decision to do something I don't want to do, I'm taking a nap.
mm.
And I learned that about myself in fifth grade, doing math equations. I didn't understand.
Not in fifth grade.
Whenever I have to do a math equation that I don't understand, that I feel like even if I try, I'm gonna feel defeated and get the wrong answer, I'm sleepy. I want to take a nap.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I see that when I used to get in trouble, or if I know I was gonna get in trouble, or something bad is happening, I'll sleep it away. But I like that he was like, I just don't want to deal with it. I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that.
Sometimes my mom like, I'll just staple a note to your homework and just let your teacher know why you didn't finish. She was tired. She went to sleep. You see all the chicken stains and grease stains and the tears on the paper, and she'll just staple it. Here, put this in your folder.
I love your mom. She was like, don't you dare stress about this. No, not me. No, I wouldn't. I love that.
My mom was a mess. What's yours?
Uh, okay, procrastination is that I will always think there's always tomorrow. Like if there is like a deadline, like if it's not today
Hmm.
and it's any day after tomorrow,
Hmm.
oh, I got all the time in the world.
Mm.
Matter of fact, you'll probably see me start getting ready 2 hours, 3 hours before. Like if it's not immediately needed, I'm usually not always rushed to do it. Now it doesn't happen all the time, but when I do see some things that come to procrastination, where I'm just like, I find out I can do something, even if it's scheduling an appointment or just setting a time to like go out with my friends. It's like, oh, oh, you want to go out? Sure. You want to set it up now? Oh no, you want to wait till next weekend? Sure. The next weekend come, nobody say nothing.
And you're not gonna say nothing.
Like I don't say nothing.
How many people do that?
Yeah, no, but I feel like it could have been just so much easier. But I am the person that like I like to wing things, even though it's so much better for me to put things on calendars because I have like friends and family of different lives and walks of life that want to hang out with me, and sometimes I double book, so I do have to schedule it. But if you don't catch me today and you don't check on me tomorrow, when that day comes, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, "Oh yeah, oh damn, you got 15. Oh, you can't do it today. You want to reschedule?"
Okay. Um, I watch shows as if
Okay, fill up time instead of doing what you have to do.
yes. Or I overwork, giving me the idea that I'm not procrastinating. I'm working so I can make more money to pay bills. When you had extra time, you just filled it with work, so you can have like a fake me out reason of why you didn't do what you need to do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I think my last one would be I don't feel like it right now. And today, like, and I feel like tomorrow I'm gonna feel like it. Like
Mhm.
right now, how I feel, like I don't want to deal with it. And tomorrow will be a good day. And I think that's the same thing with time. Like I just keep pushing it back until the deadline. If I'm able to reschedule, then great. I don't like that about me, but I know that it's worked in my favor several times, so I know it works.
Okay. My last thing is hanging around friends or family that's not gonna call me out and complaining about all the
Oh,
shit.
the yes people or the you doing so good, they're not even worried about what's really going on. Yeah. Or the people that like are not like with you a lot to understand like that you are
Yeah.
going through things so you don't have to face it or deal with it. Or they don't follow up with you on like, did you do so and so?
Yeah.
They just ask you if you're hungry. Did you have a great day? Like, it's,
Yes, from my back.
yes,
Love those people, but if you're running away from what you need to do, they're not good people to be around.
I agree.
Um, okay. So how would you set goals that you're actually going to do up so you don't, move away from being successful? Like what does that look like?
I'm like, okay, go ahead.
For me it is calendars. It is
Yeah,
to-do
she
list.
got calendars. Everybody, she got small ones, big ones, weird looking ones, crazy ones,
Yes.
color.
I have a new calendar on my screensaver. Um, new planners. I plan 2 months in advance.
Yeah, she does.
Um, I make alarms that say things to me, sometimes not in the nicest way, so I could get things done. And if I push something back, I make an alarm for myself to make myself remember I pushed it back. I do not like asking people for help last minute. And I hate asking people for help. So if I know I'm going to have to ask people for help, I even make an alarm for that. Today's the last day you can ask such and such for something tomorrow. You need to do it by 5 o'clock. Or if you try to call these people after 10, they're not going to answer. You're going to have to do this call on your lunch break. Like, I am all the way like that. So I can help my anxiety. I can help my pressure. I can help me not feel so frustrated where I have to yell and be angry about all the little things throughout the day because I know I have this thing that I can't do by myself that is going to require me to do this thing that I don't want to do. But yeah, um, planning, scheduling, making sure I really care about what the goal is going to make me do it. Um, Knowing what I'm actually going to do to make sure it gets done and just doing it is what setting goals looks like for me.
I'm gonna say I love that. I even, like I said, I think calendars are something that I use, but I don't maximize the usefulness in it. I just try to not double book myself because that tends to happen. But I do set reminders
Mhm.
to myself, um, and I am, well, I'm trying more than ever to be just realistic of what do I need and what do I want.
Mm.
And what I need will supersede now more than ever. Before it was like what I want. What I want was going to be immediate gratification, but what I need will be a long term thing. But if I once I separate that, then I'm able to kind of prioritize the goals. So even with this journey this year, with me doing the 30-day dry month, uh, I didn't think that I couldn't do it,
Mhm.
but there was no reason. Like I didn't have anyone in the beginning for sure because I was scared to hold myself accountable to tell them this is what I was doing. Because if I decided to drink, now everybody's gonna be like, "Ooh, Gigi, you drank."
Yeah.
And but like after the first week, I was like, you know what? The best thing I can do is have people that I'm around know this is what I'm deciding that I'm not doing. So you know that if we're having a party or you want to go out, yeah, Gigi's not drinking. So you can decide to invite me or not. Just know what type of time I'm on.
Yeah.
And the more I started to see me doing it, that's when I was able to say, like, okay, Gigi, if you could make it through a week without even worrying about having a craving for it or afraid what people will perceive if you didn't do it around them, if you can make it through 30 days, then you're going to gift yourself something. And that was my motivation to say, like, okay, if I can get through these 30 days, just 30 days, then I get to go on a nice trip, maybe with somebody's son, and I could be on somebody's beach and living my best life. And
Yeah.
so it was like there was an incentive in it where it was just like immediate gratification or something that I'll really have as memories and a lifetime experience that I probably need. So I need to get out of here and
Mm.
move on.
Mm. Okay. At
Yeah.
least you know what you need to do.
Yeah, but I think it has to for someone who is not as disciplined, and I'm not saying I'm not that person, but I do that I have those moments, is that start small. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be. It doesn't even have to be 30 days. It could be like a week, something, or even completing something. Start small. Think about if you were looking for another job. First thing and foremost, if if you're currently in a job, look up your job description. That will help you a long way in trying to create your resume. First goal, complete it. And then bring it onto your resume. Second goal, complete it. So if you start small, you'll be able to start seeing how you can make these more advanced and disciplined goals easier every day as long as you stay consistent.
And you don't have to tell anybody.
No, you don't have to tell anybody. And sometimes that's the best thing because
Yeah.
they can bleed into self doubt with you
Yeah.
or tempt you in ways where you find ways to distract yourself
Yeah.
to not do it.
Yeah. Okay. I like those. Okay. How can you create a growth mindset? The things that you just said, learning what the job description is that you actually want, looking at other people's resumes, learning how you can improve your skills to be wanted by where you want to be, people you want to be, company you want to work for. Work out more so you can think clearer. I think
Oh, you
when you,
think exercising helps you work?
I feel like this, when you feel good about yourself, you're more willing.
You are right.
Think about like when you go get your hair done and you leave the salon. You're like, what's next? Okay, what else do I need to do? What do
You
I need
right.
to do? Who needs to see me? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And when you don't feel good about yourself or you feel like you don't have this together or that together, you're dragging, right? When you fit into that outfit you couldn't fit for the last few months because you needed to lose weight or your thighs were too big or it didn't feel comfortable when you put it on and now it just slips on, you're more like eager for whatever, like you feel better about yourself. I
Right.
think a lot of people work out because they're depressed. A lot of people work out because maybe everything in life is not in their control, but this is.
Right.
And a lot of people work out so they can think better. And
They
it's
also release endorphins.
that too. Because when I used to go work out at the gym, I was looking for somebody's son after I was there. A lot.
I believe it.
And I was like, I cannot be at the gym and be single like this. It's not safe. So yeah. Yeah, work out. And last one, a lot of people say this, but it's true. You have to get out your comfort zone.
Mm,
You have to get out
scary thing.
the
That's
spaces
a scary thing.
where you're like, this is what I do, this is just what I do. I know I need to do more, but I'm not. No, this is time for you to do more. This is time for you to do something different. This is time for you to be something somewhere where you're not normally at. You don't know who you might meet. Been there, done that. So yeah, you should do it. It might be the experience you need. Um, it doesn't have to be something you have to do with someone else. It could be something you do solo. Pottery making class. Nobody has to know you've been going to pottery making every Saturday. You just got something to do on Saturday. You'll be back by 2. If you want to make plans with me after 2, you can do that. That's a growth mindset. Like doing something on the next level of where you used to be. That's for you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna say even like with I'll use bartending as an example. Like I didn't really tell anybody about it until I was actually like doing it on a consistent enough basis. Like I've been doing it for a little bit,
Mhm.
and this is now where I've now been considered to be on the schedule, and now the regulars know my name. Now I'm confident where I can say like I could pour you a drink. But before that, I would I would be out. People would be looking for me. It'd be like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. Be like, Gigi, where you was at? I was like taking a nap. But I was out there learning how to bartend. I was being trained or I was just thrown out to the wolves and I had to manage and figure it out. But I definitely think keeping things to yourself definitely cultivates a place of growth.
Mhm.
Um, I think the people that surround you do it as well. I think that when you have individuals who do not uh what's the word? They don't prey on your downfall. Because there are some people there are some people in the world that may be in friend groups who come off as they love and cherish their person, but they are just waiting for the moment for everything to fall.
Yeah.
But eventually, I think if you have discernment, you'll be able to point those people out. But the best environments are for people that are able to really call you out and say, hey, like, I know that you can do this. I see you being able to do this. Like, cut the shit and be this version of yourself. I don't need to know what journey you're on. I just see what you're not doing, and I just want you to be better. And I would want you to do the same thing for me.
Yes.
So not only having that mindset and keeping things to yourself, but also having people around that will uplift you. And a lot of people say that it's lonely at the top. And if that is a real thought, that just means the people that surround you didn't want to be up there either. But if you surround yourselves around individuals that are working to be at the top, it's never going to be lonely for you. It's the people that need you to stay down there. Stay down there. It's not good. Another thing to cultivate growth is I do like the exercise thing. I walk inside and outside. I'm going to learn how to walk some more, and maybe I'll get some clarity. I like that for sure. Cultivating growth. I don't know. I'm sorry.
It does help me think better. Because you're left alone with you. So eventually you're going to start thinking.
I would also use that every failure is not a failure. It's actually a lesson learned. And I think if we are okay to fail and take risks instead of worrying about the end result, if it doesn't work out, I think that if you're able to put yourself in a position of this is just a learning experience, I'm just getting this thing up and going. It's okay that I'm going to make mistakes. It's okay that I'm going to do things wrong, but I can pick myself up and I can keep going. It's the determination factor that's really going to separate you from the people that say they want to do it and the people that are actually doing it. And the last thing in regards to cultivate growth is discipline. If you're able to find discipline in your life, whether it's within yourself, your work environment, friends, family, even the things that you want to do, and being consistent, there's no reason for you to fail. You're just going to keep going. That's what I got.
Discipline and everything, man. Okay. So this other one right here, building a support crew.
Oh, yes.
This is something that I've talked about since I was in college, 2005 to 2009. And in my first book, I did
I love it.
I did a chapter on this. And it is knowing your focus, and it's called a support crew. Right? And in here, I talked about what my support crew was, and it was basically a group of friends whose lives were not identical, but they were in a space where they wanted to get shit done. And we just held each other accountable to getting things done. You want to work out more? Cool. Come run with me on the Williamsburg Bridge. Come join this gym with me. We'll go there in the mornings 4 times a week. We'll have a weight loss challenge for the next 2 weeks. And we'll like weigh each other at work because most of us work together. And we just made it fun. It wasn't like nobody bashing somebody. It was like us just challenging each other. And I think for us, we have Pod Fam. We don't have to talk consistently every day. There's some days where we're in that group chat and we don't talk. We just be like, we check it in. You know what I'm saying? What's up? Might be a voice note in there, might be a video in there, might be some comments. We sometimes hop in Drake's Sunday show, which started at 8 already today. Just see what he's talking about. If he posted something, we reshare it. If I listen to Baylor's podcast, I reshare it. I tag him in it. If we post, I'll send you a clip. Whatever somebody needs support on is genuine support, and we don't have to second guess those people.
I
And
feel
people who also have shit happening. And if somebody's having a hard time, we know this is not a good time for them. Just check in with them. If a certain holiday is coming up, this is gonna be a hard time for them. Give them a call.
right.
Randomly FaceTime them. They work till this time. We know who has kids. We know who's married. We know who's by themselves. We know, like, we know enough to respect the fact that I'm not entitled to you 100%, but we have a connection and I support you and I want to see the best happen for you. If you don't have a support crew, it could be a bestie that's holding you accountable. It could be a bestie that's challenging you. It could be someone who calls you twice a month and just like, okay, what's going on in your life? Did you get that thing done that you wanted to get done? If not, why? Do you need my help? Um, Saturday, I got this time blocked out. I'll call you Saturday. We'll come up with a plan. Just showing up for people mentally, emotionally, physically, um, whenever you can in the most genuine way. Not because you have some like intentions on sharing their shit with other people or um they did this for you, did this for them, now you're making them feel guilty to have to do something for you. Is all genuine. And
Right.
I like having a support crew because yeah, I can self motivate. I can do all of these things without telling people or sharing it with people, but you learn more when you're around people you admire. And so that's why I have a support crew. But I think a support crew is very important if you want a growth mindset because you'll learn things that you didn't know. That maybe, yeah, if you read it in a book, you would know, but sometimes you're not going to know to pick up that book to read it.
I love that. And can you just plug in that book in case anybody want to look for it?
Oh, it's Plan A, The Vision for My Fearless Generation by Chantal Marshall.
Where
Me.
can you find it?
Amazon. I want to say certain Barnes and Nobles have it, but most people ain't buying books from Barnes and Nobles. They're buying it from Amazon. So Amazon.com has it. Um, I think it's really good for people who are just graduating college
Mm,
and they feel a lot of pressure on showing up because you done spent all this money on 2 years of school, 4 years of school to do this career. Now you got to show your ass. And I think nobody gives you the steps after college. Everybody gives you the steps to get to college, what you're going to do while you're in college. And then when you get out of college, it's just like, okay, go.
right.
And some people are lost. And some people like, oh, well, I'm going to go home first.
Mm,
I'm going to try to find a job. And then what do you do when you're not motivated to find a job because so many people told you no? What do you do when those loan people are calling you up and saying, okay, when
it's
can you give us back our money?
right.
What do you do when um, people saw you go to this nice school and now you got to go back home because you can't afford to be in the city you wanted that job in? What do you do when you have to live out of a suitcase for 4 years in order to chase your career? Because I did that. It was like 4+ years before had a closet to put my clothes in, where I could see my clothes hanging up. Um, I slept on slither edges of beds to go work the career I wanted until I got to a point where I'm just like, okay, I'm tired now. I got to rearrange my plan. It's not that I don't want to do the things that I said I want to do, but I have to rearrange them to make sense, or I'm going to exhaust myself and make this career feel like I can't get it. And the thing is, like, nobody tells you or prepares you for the changes of the economy and your aspirations and your dreams, because it's not that I don't want to design shoes anymore. It's just like designing shoes cannot be a priority when I'm a mom. And I'm a single mom. I'm not married. I don't have someone who's also their father that I'm just like, you stay here so I could pour 100% of my efforts into this career that I want. I have to prioritize a bit different, but I also feel like mentally I would be comforted by knowing the girls are a bit older and I could go do this thing because they're more understanding. I'm not going to miss a lot of milestones that I would if they were like younger, toddlers, babies, and all of that. So it's just being willing to be flexible, which is one of the things we're going to talk about, being flexible with your thoughts and your wants, because that's the reality of life. Sometimes you're going to be told you can't have something right now, maybe later. And even as a child, you're told that. But as an adult, you have to tell yourself that. I'm not saying you can't want what you want, but right now you can't want that. We got to focus on what you need right now. And that's basically what that is. But yeah,
I love that. Absolutely, I love that.
girl.
I think you took a lot of things that I already said, so I definitely don't want to repeat anything that you say. I think PodFam has been one of the greatest motivators. I'm so grateful to just be part of that group. Like everybody's phenomenal in their own right,
Hmm.
and everybody wants to lift and support and just be a safe space.
Right.
I don't know if safe space is like a word we still use, but a safe space where we all could genuinely just vent and we are being heard, even if there is some type of rebuttal. We are not afraid to tell
But
each
we
other about
appreciate a good rebuttal.
yes, yes, okay. Um, I also have different dynamics of even like I want to say like my coworker friend, where I want to say that we haven't crossed the line of like, yo, this is my homie, and we're gonna be friends forever. But I know that we're close enough where yes, you're my coworker, and we happen to be very friendly and caring for each other, and then those dynamics where even when you were saying like the challenges, I started reading more books because one of my friends slash coworkers reads books too. So now we created our own little book club, and then we get to have discussions about it. So it just pushes us to actually want to read more books, get excited about the conversations we're going to have about the books and where we are in the book. So I can definitely see that. And then I have another group where it, I don't want to say it gives me my high school self, but these are people that knew me before me now. And there's some insights where they're able to see the difference. And then there's some insights where I feel like they're still stuck into the old me, but it's always a good time. You know, you got the groups that you just want to have a good time and kind of tap into those. Yeah. Um, but I have also learned is that pay attention to your intuition and pay attention to what your spirit is telling you when you're surrounded yourself around people that you call friends. Because I have found myself being close to or entrusting or even investing time in people who genuinely, I believe, didn't like me, or there was some type of envy or disconnect that I wasn't aware of. And I'm seeing it play out or manifest itself in making things awkward or making me feel less than or backhanded compliments. And I'm like, yeah, I need to remove myself from those spaces.
Yeah.
But you don't need to surround yourself around yes men. That's
No.
for your guilty pleasures. Use those for your guilty pleasures. But if you want growth, have people that you feel comfortable that you're able to share yourself and allow them to share themselves with you. And everybody wants everybody to win.
Hmm. And that's how you know you're in the right crew is when people are just naturally excited for you.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
We going to the next.
Yes. Distractions.
Mm, 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 mm.
My distractions is definitely my phone. Um, and I'm not gonna say my phone is like completely negative. It's not. I use it to post. I use it to put clips. I use it to push merch. But I will scroll and scroll and scroll when I need to be asleep. I will be in my room laughing at the top of my lungs past my bedtime. I will maybe I could take this time to do a write up and I find myself reposting on Instagram, or I find myself tweeting, or I find myself reading something online when I have articles to create for the blog. something I have to do now because Tuesday is the first. Every month I do 3 pages of the blog on what happened and what to look forward to in that month. So that requires me to do some research on what's going on in the current month so I can do that.
Right.
And sometimes the distractions are in front of you at your fingertips. Sometimes distractions are people. Um, sometimes distractions can be adult life.
Have a conversation with you, but I don't want to cut you off because I'm like, I got
Adult life that you have needs and things that need to get done, but there's also something you need to do for yourself. Going out for no reason, spending money for no reason. You got food in the fridge. Why are you spending money on this when you really need that? Overeating because you feel away. Those are distractions. So yeah.
Okay, so again, this is not in any particular order. I do not want you guys to judge me. I'm just telling you, like, as I was listening to Shan, all the things I wanted to interject, and I'd be like, "Yes, girl, I'm with you," and I wanted to add some other things. I was gonna say, sex could be a distraction. Um, Sometimes, like Halle Berry, you want to just feel good, and if you're not feeling good, if you are a sexual person, you may use sexuality to distract you from what needs to actually happen. I can tell you that's one of the identifiers that I can do. Um, I, I've also said in regards to procrastination was I tend to find projects that don't involve me, and I would insert myself in it, and I will dedicate my time and thoughts into someone's whole greatness, but not put that energy. And I think that's just a way of me avoiding what I need to do for myself. So that's also a distraction. I use my health as a distraction because there's times where I know that there's times where I feel really, really down. I feel really, really drained. I feel really, really crappy.
Mhm.
And I'll allow it to keep carrying on until it's over. And I feel like there's nothing wrong with that when you say it that way. But when you know that maybe you can move around today, you don't have to just be in a bed.
Yeah.
Maybe you could get up and, try to do something. But you're like, no, I'm sick. I'm dying. I'm not doing anything. And you're just like, oh, wait. But you're good enough to be able to sit up and you're playing games on your phone, or you're able to get up and you want to go eat junk food or spend time watching YouTube videos, but you don't want to do anything for betterment for yourself. And I want to say the last thing as a distraction that I would like to share.
I'm watching
Sorry.
as Gigi searches her brain.
Because I had it. Wait, I should just read it. Hold on. That's the distraction that I wanted to share is forget it.
Why?
Forget it. Because no, just it's okay. It's okay.
Hmm.
I feel like I said it already without saying it, and it's just going to be repeating. So it's fine. It's fine.
Um,
So the three is I can see sex. I can see using other people's either issues or problems and using that as a forefront in my mind instead of myself. Uh, and reminding myself that I have time
hmm.
to do it. Like it's okay. You didn't do it on Friday. You have Monday. Like Monday, it's okay. Tuesday's right there. Oh, you have to do it on Tuesday. Thursday is gonna be a really good day because you don't have nothing to do that day.
Uh,
Oh man, Thursday. But guess what? Friday, you get to work from home, so you have all the time in the world. And now we're back on Monday.
okay.
So it's just kind of like talking yourself into believing that you have time. When if you would have did it that day or the time that you planned for, like you on Shan's calendar,
Yeah,
probably would be great.
I can see that as a distraction. Okay.
That's all I got. Now I'm done. Now I'm done for real. I'm sorry for the empty
Good.
spaces.
Good.
Just play elevator music in your head.
being flexible and mindful, okay, this requires you to focus in. This requires you to understand your reality. Maybe how the other person got to their goal might not be your path, and that's okay. um I think it starts with giving yourself an hour for you only shit per day. Uh,
Mm.
that's how I got my books done while I was working 40 hours per week. Is every day at 10 o'clock until 11, I typed, I wrote, I edited until that shit was done. And sometimes I did it when I didn't want to do it. Sometimes I did it when I wanted to do it. Sometimes I spent a little bit more time, but it was like my way of giving me something in the day. And sometimes you have to do that with whatever needs to get done for you. If you need to spend an hour looking for jobs, do that. If you need to lock in and say, I'm not going to go on IG, Twitter, TikTok until I send my at least 5 resumes to these jobs first, then that's what you do. If you didn't do an hour walk this morning, then maybe after work you owe yourself an hour walk. Read more books that you like if you have to read more, if you want to read more. Um, if you don't like eating healthy, explore recipes that are healthier than the shit you've been eating. Because I know not all healthy stuff is the best. You don't have to wait until your doctor says, okay, now we have to put you on high blood pressure medicine.
Mm.
You can do the little things in your diet to lower your blood pressure before you have to go do your physical, before that doctor has to tell you your numbers. You can know, like, okay, what have I been eating? Google what happens when a person is consistently eating this thing and not that over a period of time. Like,
Well, I think people are afraid of that.
what you say?
I think people are afraid of that. Ignorance is bliss, for sure.
I think people are afraid of the answers to their shit. You know
Absolutely.
what
And
I'm
I think that's where the distractions come from. It's just like, if I avoid it and I don't know, then I
saying?
cannot be held accountable.
Yeah, but that's a problem. Like, you don't have to eat like shit and wait until you go see a doctor for them to tell you you're pre-diabetic. You look
Mm.
at yourself every day. You can tell you're becoming pre-diabetic.
Yeah, you're not okay, Frank.
Okay? And if you don't want to be a burden to your people, if you want your kids to have happy, fulfilling lives and not have to worry about you each day, that requires you to take care of yourself. That requires you to pull back. That requires you to go do something of exercise. And the people who need to see you do something you don't want to do that's good for you the most is your kids. Because if you're telling them every day, I know you don't like this, but you need to do this, and you don't do this shit that you don't like because you don't want to do it, they're not gonna want to do it.
Right. Where do they get their inspiration from? Where do they get their motivation from? Where do they get their experience from? If
Right,
they're expecting it from coming outside, it's not somebody that looks like them that's doing it. It could be
right,
somebody that doesn't look like them that's doing
right. So as much as I miss Philly, I'm glad my kids don't live somewhere where they can walk to the corner store and buy a whole bunch of unhealthy shit because they're bored.
it.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, lock in, focus in, be flexible, be realistic about how things are going to get done, and you don't have all the time in the world. That's the reality. You don't have all the time in the world. You need to be flexible, and there's some things that you want to do that are not going to get done in a day, but figure out what can get done in a day.
Absolutely. Some things I agree 100% with Shan. The only thing that I would really add is um, just like before, like start with small goals. If you're afraid of doing big things, even when it comes to like the hour, even if you want to do 20 minutes, you can use the Pomodoro strategy. Is that the word?
I
Let me see.
don't know what that is.
Pomodoro.
Girl.
Okay, so Pomodoro strategy. If I'm saying it right, if I'm wrong, Google it. Tell Google to tell you how to say it. But it's the same. It's the same. But basically, it's a method where you use time intervals to do things. So you can say, I'm going to work for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to take a break for 30 minutes, or I'm going to do something else for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to go back to this thing. And as you start breaking things up, you see that it's easier to consume than you spending the whole day trying to do something. Because then you do find yourself wanting to be distracted, or you find yourself walking away from your computer, or deciding to take a break and taking a nap and then not going back to it. But I think using the Pomodoro strategy allows you to take small chunks of something that you think that you couldn't complete and give you more motivation to complete it. I
Yeah,
know I've done it for sure.
the Pomodoro technique.
There we go. Pomodoro technique. I was saying strategy, but it's technique. Yeah.
Time management method that uses time in intervals. It reminds me of burpees.
Right. And then even like what you're doing, making sure that you spend like an hour, like that's a part of the strategy too.
Mm.
And knowing that within your day you're setting out time just to do this thing. And it's not a lot of time. It's just enough time that if you do it consistently enough, you will get to your goal.
Yeah.
So I'm with all the things.
Okay.
And it's always good to know that there's always a time to pivot. I always saying the
I don't know
worst thing
when you need to pivot.
what you say?
You have to know when you need to pivot.
Yes, but sometimes you just gotta run into that failure to feel like, you know what? I probably did this 3 times. I need to do this another way. That's okay too. But it's always good to know that you can pivot. There's not always just one thing to do
Where
do
you
something.
recognize that you did this 6 times and
Right. And just like Shan says, like we can do the same thing, but we got there differently because of our mindset and how it doesn't mean that we won't reach the same level of success. We just took a different route to get there.
right.
That's where I'm at with it. I was short and sweet because you said all the great things. You gave it to him, and I said yes, I agree.
Yes. All right. The next one is never forget to celebrate thyself.
That's why I'm gonna book my trip, girl. Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
the celebrations don't have to be announced. It could be quiet celebrations, it could be solo celebrations, it could be you want to treat yourself to a restaurant, um, you want to treat yourself to a concert, you wanted to buy this purse, but you wanted to complete this thing first. You
right.
you wanted to tint your car,
Oh yes,
to do this thing first. I'm trying to think men, woman things. Uh,
yes. Buying a new car.
yes, you saved up X, Y, and Z towards your goal. Now pick the place that you want to go travel to. Make the time, take your PTO. Like, reward yourself. I don't believe in waiting till retirement to live. I don't believe in um, waiting until your job says, oh, you can do this week, or we have X, Y, and Z time on the schedule free. If anybody wants to take their PTO now, they can. Go on that trip and schedule that trip.
I
Like,
agree.
the time is there. You accrued the time of money sitting so you can have a paid time off. Use it. Don't feel guilty for using it. Life leave, yes, it's for doctor shit, but it's also for your mental health too. You don't have to tell your supervisor or your manager what did you do on that day off. None of your goddamn business. I needed it. Thank you very much. Happy to see you today. What needs to get done today? And just keep it moving. I think um if your attention is still off at work, that's your body telling you you need more time. If you're frustrated by everything, that's maybe telling you that, maybe you should switch something in your diet. Maybe your iron's low. Maybe you need some more vitamin D,
Mhm.
a different type of D. Maybe um you need some time away to appreciate a lot of people that are around you. Um just reward yourself. It doesn't always have to be unhealthy ways that you reward yourself, but Everybody's deserving if you're trying, if you're actually trying, if you're actually putting in the time, you're actually putting in the effort, if you've been showing up. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you permission to celebrate yourself.
I agree. Uh, See, this is not one of those conversations where I can go back and forth because she's saying all the great things. But I'll use like an example of even trying to eat better. You can reward yourself with some chocolate.
Yes.
You can have moments where you can understand that even in these quiet accomplishments, you can still uh, gift yourself something. And sometimes it could even be some words of affirmation that you weren't able to say to yourself. It doesn't always have to be spending money on yourself. Sometimes it's just allowing you to know, like taking days off. You're already gonna get paid for it anyway. And if you're not, everyone deserves a mental health day.
Right.
You've learned so much in, especially if you're in any type of corporate America, that you are not a person, you are a number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Knowing that, keep your mental health first. The job is gonna be there.
Yep. Yep.
Let me see in regards to celebrating your win. Well, you guys already know that I'm doing I'm going to book myself a trip. I haven't, I'm a avid traveler, but like probably in the past 2 years, just with lifing, I haven't been able to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So this was something that I wanted to do anyway, but I did want something, the way that my life is going, I felt like I was more on a rocky hill than a smooth slate where I was able to move up. Seemed like it was a little rough. And just having these different things, whether it's focusing on my health, my mental health, my physical health, and now just what I'm putting into my body, absolutely. I'm gonna take myself somewhere. I did that. You know how much money I saved? You know, you see, I can absolutely do that.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's one of the greatest motivators when you do have an incentive. And even if it's the smallest thing that means something to you, hold on to that. Because that's what's gonna keep you going. Nobody else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all of that thing. And last but not least, get out of your head and just get busy. And not stupidly busy, not unfocused busy, but like really pour into you. Um, this might be your year. This might be your month.
This might be. It's
This
not
might
guaranteed.
be your year. This might be your month. This might be your opportunity. I don't believe people miss their chances. Of things that are supposed to happen for them.
Mm.
If something is happening in your life and it's really good, and then it gets to a point where that has now ended, I don't believe it's wrong that that thing ended. I believe it's a reason why that thing ended, so you can get something different. I believe life is always honestly going to redirect you back into a lane you were supposed to be in, even if the lane you was in felt like it was good,
Mm.
felt like it was right. Um,
Do you think that it also plays into what your motivations are? Like, if you literally keep making the left instead of making that right, well, I guess eventually four lefts will make a right. Okay, let's use another thing. If if the navigation in your life is saying like, okay, make this left, make this right, but you continue to go straight, do you think eventually you're destined to get to where you need to be? Or are you missing opportunities because you're deciding to avoid anything that can boost you or elevate you? Or do you think there's just other avenues for you to get there?
on how negative your decision outcome was.
I've seen homeless people get rich, so I guess, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like if I keep going towards this thing, I want to ride monster trucks with no helmet. Eventually, the Lord is going to show you what happens when you ride with no helmet in these
Mm.
situations.
You think it's like that man that got bit by the stingray?
I didn't see that.
He was like very well known, like I want to say like a zoologist, but he was like he had he had like a Australian accent.
Oh, you talking about crocodile hunter?
Yeah.
I mean, you play with God's creatures long enough, you're gonna start thinking you're above other human beings, and the Lord is going to have to humble you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just saying. I was just like, I was
You know?
ride around with a seatbelt enough to find out why the seatbelt is created. I get it. I get it. But some people don't ride around with seatbelts,
You
and they've been living their best life.
raw dog enough people, you're going to meet the right person.
Just saying. But
Mhm.
I hear you absolutely.
Just saying, like, have some boundaries with yourself. Recognize when you need to what? Pivot.
Yes, and self awareness.
Yeah,
Like, pay attention to your body. Pay attention to your spirit when you're around people, or even when you're doing something. What's calling to you? Pay attention to the energy that you're receiving and what you're putting out. Like everything that the universe, the world, whatever you want to call like your higher power, uh, gave to you is self sufficient. Where we're able to do these things on our own. We don't need any physical things to help allow us to do it. It starts within ourselves.
correct.
And so when things don't feel right, when your stomach is not right, you're eating something that's not agreeing with your body. Like there's everything that we've already have built in us to succeed.
Right.
We just have to apply it.
I agree. Well, Gigi, how do you feel about this season?
This season was a testament to letting me know that I can't stop fighting. Um, it was scary before because I was just like, oh my gosh, like my last show is ending and like what is supposed to happen? And being able to cultivate not only a schedule that works for us, a system that works for us, and even feeling like I'm having content pulled out, and I was like, "Oh, I did it! I did that,
Yeah.
and I did that with Shane with the support, with my microphone working or not. It's working today.
Yes.
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
watch me work."
Yeah.
Um, but I'm really like just proud of me not giving up. I know that I pat myself on the back because I really there's moments where I felt like I was,
Mhm.
but I'm very grateful for you, Shan, because
Yeah.
uh, you motivated me to keep going for sure.
Yeah.
And I think that you're an amazing person, and I'm glad to be your friend and podcast host for sure. And
Was
I've
it
learned so many things. I've
was it
learned so much, like
good?
not just my thoughts, but even like from you, and even like this book. I didn't even know about this book. I know about the other books that you created,
Yeah.
but I had no idea about this book. And I
Yeah.
think that's an awesome book to have created. So
It was
yeah.
just like I felt like because I had questions and I felt lost after
Mm,
like I know other people feel lost.
right,
I feel like when you're lost after college, after you spend that money, it can go really left where you end up being in the grocery store, your hometown or where you started, and you don't.
right. Or settling for a job that has nothing to do with your what you
And
went to
that's
school.
because you didn't have, you had a plan A, but the plan A is not the plan A you thought it was going to be.
Right. It didn't span out the way that you thought it was. In
Yeah,
your movie that you created called Life, it
yeah,
didn't. No. There was an alternate ending, and you just wasn't a part of that.
yeah.
But it's okay.
Yes, you
It's
can.
okay. There's different ways to get to the same success. You just gotta want it.
Yes, yes. So I enjoyed this season. I enjoyed watching you be able to express yourself the way you want to.
Ah!
I enjoyed coming up with these episodes, and I'm excited about how much more you share or get to dig into your mind for next season, which will be in fall. We'll start back in September. Um, and I just feel like it's going to be good, and you're going to step into your own gear of potting that I know is within you, and
Thank you.
it's just going to be a good time.
What a great episode to end this one off on, you guys, right? Yeah. Stay tuned. We'll see
Growth,
where this journey goes.
growth, okay? We are here, but it's all good. Y'all can still email us at callmewhenyougetOff@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on IG. Call Me When You Get Off podcast. We will still be posting. We're gonna get Gigi on there more.
You guys are gonna see my face. I promise.
Yeah, so
I'm
if it's
working
not
on
gonna
it.
see me, but it's gonna be a good time. We'll be back with another season. It might be longer than this season. You never know. It depends on what we're talking about.
You know, when they renew it, sometimes you get more episodes.
Yes. Okay. It was nice for you guys to be able to see us. It's nice to see y'all, and I hope this grows bigger and better than it already is. And thank you so much for our pod fam. Thank you for Baylor calling in. We hope to get more calls in the future,
Absolutely.
emails in the future. But yeah, this was a good time.
And don't forget our merch store.
Yes, call me when you get off. Merch is on Bonfire. The link is in the show notes. The link is on the IG and I want to say the Twitter. And it has all of the merch on there from all of the podcasts, not just this podcast. So just take a look. We go up to 4X on a lot of items, t-shirts. Come fall, we'll be adding more things on there. Because I know
Are they running unisex? Just so the audience to
yes,
know.
there's things on there that are unisex. I bought two items, one cozy room item, one call me when you get off Raglan. It's very comfy, very soft. They ship fast. They give you a confirmation. You don't have to worry about where your things are. It's cool. Yeah,
I love it.
we appreciate y'all.
We do. And stay tuned for our next season.
Yes,
And in the meantime, you guys, don't forget to go be great.
please, please, okay? Because who else gonna do it?